Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Meaningful Nonsense Podcast. In this one, we're talking a little bit about the tech era that we're living in and things we've seen as we're growing up. This is a fun episode. We go on quite a few tangents, maybe even rant a couple times. We hope you guys enjoy.
Welcome aboard!
Hello and welcome to episode 7 of our podcast, the Meaningful Nonsense Podcast.
I was about to ask what to
what
call
podcast is this?
Yeah.
Didn't know if he was going to give the title or not for a second, but he did, thankfully.
I went ahead and decided to give a title, because we're known by a name, and that name is Meaningful Nonsense. We're not known yet.
The Meaningful Nonsense Conglomerate.
Yeah. We got blogs, we got vlogs, we got shirts. We don't have shirts yet. We don't have any merchandise, so you got your hopes up for that.
Don't listen to that guy.
Yeah, I'm a little bit weird. I'm a little bit weird.
You can't trust that
Just
guy.
a
I've
weeb.
been saying it for years.
But we're gonna start off this episode like we always do, and I'm gonna ask you guys how was your weeks?
I took 3 days off this week.
3
Yep.
whole days?
I took 2 days off, and then we got Monday off because of Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Oh yeah.
So overall, it was really good.
Really good week. All right, nice. I'm glad to know that you had a great week, Dolan. Landon, how was your week?
It was pretty good, actually. Not for any particular reason, it went well all around. And anytime that's the case, you can't complain. You just got to be thankful and count your blessings.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sorry, I had an issue with my microphone, and I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't causing some weird static.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad you had a good week, and that's definitely true. You gotta count just a good solid week as a blessing.
What about you?
I actually have begun hitting the ground running on my new career path. I'm back at Chick-fil-A, getting back into the old chicken business, which I've been in for a while, but
not getting back into getting back into the rhythm of Chick-fil-A.
We're opening a new store.
Sweet.
12th Avenue in Norman,
Oklahoma.
It's going to be awesome. It's on the east side of Norman. People have been clamoring for a Chick-fil-A on that side for a very long time.
That side of Norman is booming. There's a Starbucks.
Mm-hmm. Freshly opened,
yes. And then they're building a Panda Express.
And an Aldi.
And an Aldi.
Right beside them.
What was the taco joint they put in there?
Del Taco?
They put a Del Taco in there.
Yeah, it doesn't do very well.
No, but
still haven't been there.
Yeah.
Neither have I. Not even tried.
No.
Not even attempted.
I
would soon rather go to Burger King across the street.
Ooh.
I feel that's a little bit of an exaggeration.
No, I would much rather have a Whopper.
I've never even had Del Taco.
I'm a huge Burger King fan.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
I knew you were a Brahms fan.
It's funny because he says that and it's not true, not accurate. In fact, Oklahoma is known for its love for Brahms, and I love Brahms ice cream. I love Brahms dairy. I love their fresh market.
It is good stuff.
Their burgers are bland as can be. They need salt. They need some kind of decency, and they come with mayonnaise unless you ask otherwise.
I mean, if you really wanted the salt, you could just always ask for Wendy's fries. Because they are salty.
Folks, this is an ongoing debate that I may have reignited.
He reignited it. Luckily, this episode's not about that,
no.
It would just be an argumentative episode. I don't know if we'd
Dalton,
get anywhere.
Dalton in Closed Doors has pretty much disclosed to me that he does it on purpose.
I do it to boil Dalton's blood.
Which it doesn't boil my blood.
Sometimes that's kind of fun to do.
It is. It's very fun.
I just remember a very vivid memory of a backpacking trip.
Yeah.
And
Lennon actually had to cut my line out of the video because of me being so mad at
Let's just say he said an expletive.
I used an expletive, and I think I cursed or threw up the middle finger or something. It was obscene. It was not one of my finer moments, but
But anyway, that's beside the point.
On to the topic of today, which is coming to you through technology. We literally, I don't know what platform you're using to stream this. If you're watching on YouTube, we're showing you what you may be using it on, and that is your cell phone device.
That's an iPhone. That's what it is.
Is that the iPhone X or 10, if you will?
It is, yeah.
iPhone 10. That
is yours an iPhone X
iPhone
as well?
10? Mm-hmm.
Because
yours is the iPhone 10X Max, right?
Yes.
Is that what? Is that the
XS Max?
XS Max. Okay. It's because
then,
it's right in the name. It's XS.
Yeah, and then it really is. You don't need it.
You don't.
But it's fun to have. I mean, these now can shoot in 4K, 60 FPS.
Mm-hmm.
Not native 4K, because it would be pretty hard to do for phones right now.
Mm-hmm. You basically be shooting a movie with your phone.
Pretty much.
It's amazing, though. I mean, it is amazing what they've accomplished.
Yeah. I filmed, edited, and created a video all with footage from my iPhone.
Right.
It's so much so that because my mother has the same phone that I do, and when she takes pictures with her camera, they're not nearly as good as her phone, and it's making her want to get a new camera.
Mm-hmm.
That is, the cameras are unreal these days.
They are. It's almost as clear as me looking at you right now. Like, I can see you with my own eyeballs.
It is. It's almost clearer than life is the funny thing.
Because it enhances.
Yeah.
It enhances life as we see it. And it's crazy quality. I'm coming from... I mean, I believe when I got my first cell phone, I might have been 13.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was going to mention on this was the first cell phone.
Yeah, and I feel like we're the last generation that'll ever grow up not with our parents not having a fancy cell phone or a cell phone at all.
Cell phone, yeah.
Yeah, our parents had flip phones for years, and then they just generally got passed down to us.
Yeah,
through the years.
There's a weird thing where the young kids of today, they don't know a world without the smartphone technology.
No.
Charlie, my daughter, will never know what it's like to not have superior technology to any other era in the history of the world.
She's going to hear us talk about the old technology, kind of like people always have. Mm-hmm. But that's going to be us talking about VHSs and DVDs. And
I grew up on VHS. Those are near and dear to my heart, and they don't feel that outdated. But when you plug in your 4K streaming device or TV, or you're actually using a disc, I don't know if anybody uses DVD anymore. It's all Blu-ray.
Yeah. It's fun to think about because now Apple really is revolutionizing technology. But when you go back through history and think about, let's say, Alexander Graham Bell creating the first telephone.
And that was insane. That you could talk to somebody.
Revolutionary. Because that's really what helped radio become a thing.
Yeah.
Those signals and the radio waves.
Transmissions from over long distance and miles. And just, it unlocked new avenues of communication, of entertainment, of everything. And, obviously we weren't alive when the Atari came out and just blew everybody away. Not to mention TV.
There's a pattern throughout history where every generation has technology that they witness be created. Mm-hmm. And they can say to the younger folk, you don't know what it's like, life before radio.
Yeah. And we even don't know that.
No.
To a certain degree, we've been spoiled to technology growing up.
Yeah. With the immediate access of information.
I actually compiled a list of some of the things that we've witnessed come to the forefront.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
You want me to name some off?
Oh, yeah. Name some off.
DVDs.
DVDs were just absolutely huge. That watching that quality of whatever film you were watching, you slid it into your DVD player, and they were hundreds of dollars.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You were lucky to have one.
If you had a PlayStation 2, you had a DVD player, which was a huge
It was both.
bonus.
I know, and the PlayStation 2 was the console
Oh, yeah.
of my childhood. And obviously, you know, I loved my parents' Super Nintendo. I loved playing our cousin Peyton's Nintendo 64 that his mom had.
Yeah.
Like, those were fun, but they were because of a nostalgia type factor. It's like, whoa, these are the games that were huge before us, but then the PlayStation 2 just completely...
And those games will never get
graphics
old.
No, they never will, ever. Not for me, not for even some of the kids growing up
Yeah.
prefer those.
But obviously smartphones, that's a pretty easy one.
Smartphones had to have been teens,
Yeah.
like late teens.
Yeah, I mean, 2000... Well, iPhone was what, 2008?
2008, the first iPhone.
There was technically smartphones before that, like Blackberries.
And think
Yeah.
about how revolutionary the iPod was before the iPhone.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
it put all other MP3 players to shame.
Yeah, for sure. Being able to stream music from your pocket.
I know. Had radio capabilities
Yeah.
and everything.
It was a portable radio.
Oh.
Yeah.
The iPod. You had a iPod Classic that I just absolutely loved with the little spin wheel.
It was I think the last one with the spin wheel.
Oh, really? That was the
Yeah.
last one?
Um,
And then the iPod Touch. I remember when I got my first iPod Touch.
it was a huge deal.
It was like we had an iPhone. Because I
'Cause
hadn't had an iPhone
we
yet.
I think we both had cell phones.
Mhm.
We didn't have an iPhone because they'd only been out a couple years.
Mhm.
But the iPod Touch made the same technology accessible.
Mm-hmm.
And we lived on those things, and so look what happened.
Yep.
Yeah,
Still live on them.
Yep.
we all got an iPod. Pretty much everybody. Whether what generation you got was different depending on the time you got it, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the success of the iPod came a larger version of the iPad. And
iPad.
We still have a first generation iPad.
Yeah, we do. When I received that iPod, that
was
iPad
so-
for my birthday,
So jealous.
I know.
I wanted one so bad and got one.
A couple weeks later, actually.
For my birthday.
your
One of
birthday.
the best birthday gift I think I've ever got.
I know. Same here. That was actually... I had got one towards the end of the life of the first gen, and then you got the second gen, and it was like, look how thin it is.
Yeah, it was just so
Are
much
you
more
kidding
thin
me? It was like this
original.
beautiful device that you just held in your hand. That was like a huge iPhone.
Yeah.
than.
Go
So
ahead.
it-
Oh, I was
you
just going
can
to say,
say.
I mean, the browsing of the internet, because that's basically what an iPad's for, is just using those kind of things and using it for notes, using it for... but now they're a full-on computer with the iPad Pro.
I don't have a PC really
Mm-hmm.
right now. I
Yeah.
have an iPad.
Yeah, and it takes care of all your needs.
I use it every day.
Mm-hmm. For all your browsing, purchasing,
YouTube,
info, news.
Netflix, everything.
It's got everything you need.
Yeah, and then now they're bringing out an iPad Pro, which
the
is
Apple
just
Pencil. It's basically...
the second version of Apple Pencil, which
it's
is
basically
actually
a Mac.
pretty much.
It definitely runs a lot differently than a Mac.
If
Not
you
quite as powerful.
if you bought one of the attachable keyboards that could go with it, you're pretty much buying a Mac. Maybe not.
Can't
as-
do gaming, like serious gaming, or
Yeah, of
you're
course,
losing a
which-
little bit of...
I don't really think with laptops you're gonna, unless you buy a gaming performance like a laptop, you're really not gonna get those type of FPS numbers.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
my computer, it has a good graphics card, a really good CPU, and I get good FPS.
It's created to run those types of games that need a lot of machinery to, transmit those kind of graphics.
Yeah.
Because the games we play nowadays are just insane.
I mean, if you think
life,
about
you're looking
Battlefield
at it.
5, that is probably one of the most realistic games in terms of the way it actually feels and looks.
Mhm.
And it looks beautiful. it looks like real life, just
Oh
in
yeah.
a slightly dimmed down version.
And then, I mean, going from that, like graphics on the HD television.
HD TV is one of the things I
Yeah.
had listed.
You know, I might have actually saw that and then subliminally decided to talk about that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it changes the way you watch television.
Well, it was
Just absolutely.
It actually took a while to get used to HD TV.
It looked
it was
weird.
so much better.
Yeah, because it's like your eyeballs weren't used to processing graphics that fast
Yeah,
at that many frames
because
per second.
I believe your TV.
Mine's
is,
one of the first plasmas.
Yeah,
Like when plasma was real huge.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
the first first flat screen HD
Mm-hmm.
1080.
yeah, which
And now it's almost unwatchable
I mean,
as opposed to
yeah. Now it looks like your TV is 720.
it's one of the box TVs, box televisions with the huge out
Yeah, and
back. I don't know, what do you even call those now?
Is it a tube TV or is it
Tube
a flat
TV.
TV?
No,
It is a
mine
tube
is a
TV?
flat
It
TV,
is-
but it's bulky.
Oh,
It's not like
Yeah,
the
it's a
TVs
bulky
you'd see
flat
now with the
screen.
4K.
as you
and
see with the one in our living room,
it's like this thin,
it's,
and it's
uh,
also 70 inches.
yeah, it's
Inch and a half
60,
thick.
70 inches. And
Mine's that thick, probably
yeah.
5 inches thick.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the high definition 1080p is extremely different than yours.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
I mean, you got to imagine being born today.
With the world at your fingertips, automatically.
I mean, there's going to be technological breakthroughs that they're going to get to witness.
Mm-hmm.
But we have witnessed some of the greatest of all time. I really think that.
I honestly believe it. I really do. And the reason that I just can't imagine in my brain. Obviously, I'm not intelligent enough to build a lot of technology that can still be built or whatever, or be a person that innovates new technology the way that it has been during our lifetime. But
Yeah.
it's hard for me to sit here and drum up a way that they can actually improve some of these things.
But they do.
They do every day. People do, but
Mhm.
it just is above my imagination
Yeah, because
level.
you think of some very crazy inventions that who would even think of it except the person who made it?
Mm-hmm.
Like a crock pot.
Yeah, I know. Who would have thought that you just can sit there and make a whole meal and not even ever have to check? It just
Yeah.
cooks it for you,
Yeah,
basically instantaneously, over a few hours.
microwave.
Microwave technology. I mean, when it first started, it was literally causing people radioactivity.
Well, yeah.
Probably.
But then technology over time gets better and it improves and it is innovated every single day.
Absolutely.
But
But one thing I have on here that was super critical, was a super critical breakthrough for the smartphone era. Multi-touch touchscreen.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I had a BlackBerry. It was my first foray into a smartphone that could basically it accessed internet, and that was what made it smart.
And they had touchscreens before multi-touch.
Yeah, they did those. Like
Force touch. Force
yeah,
touch.
you actually had to press hard.
But when Apple made multi-touch available to the world,
It just took the entire world by storm.
that touch, just reach out and touch what you want to do. It's the greatest. It's the interface. The mouse
is.
was a good one, for
Mhm.
sure. But to actually just touch and pinch and squeeze what you want,
It's literally the world at your fingertips.
that was a
Yeah.
critical invention. for
I
this.
mean, absolutely, because now your computers are touchscreen.
It's all over
Your
the place
TVs
now.
are touchscreen. There's touchscreen TVs. It's
I mean, there's smart TVs
I
that
know.
can browse the web
it's
with an internet.
Speaking of
accessible.
web, high-speed
Yes, it
internet.
was.
We witnessed
yeah,
that
we did
boom.
because
Actually-
I remember for years and years dealing with being beep, beep.
Yeah.
That's a terrible rendition. of-
AOL and just awful.
and we
awful
thought it
internet.
was fast. We're like,
I mean-
wow, we waited 30 hours for a YouTube video to buffer.
The first YouTube video I ever sat and let load on dial-up. You know what it was?
What's that?
Ramen Noodles. The song.
Ramen noodles.
The parody of James Blunt's
You're beautiful.
You're beautiful.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it took like an hour and 20 minutes for a 7-minute
But then
video.
when you got to watch it, it was like,
I just sat there and watched it.
Because I'm going to go a little bit tech nerd with some of my knowledge that
Go
is
ahead.
pretty much useless, except to me. 4G LTE is about 4 megabits per second.
mhm.
And to think that now you can get 1,000 megabits per second with fiber optic
Yeah.
technology is ridiculous, because
I
that's
don't-
250 times faster than 4G.
It's hard to even comprehend when you say that, because what was dial-up? 50 kilobits per second?
It was
Slow.
slow. I mean,
Wicked slow.
even our Wi-Fi, because we are in a very
Rural area, yeah.
which
We're
actually
getting like 1 to
Yeah.
2 megabits per second on our
And-
Wi-Fi.
actually, because of technology, we are about to be able to get fiber optics in our area.
Oh yeah, on our worst day, we'll get like 50 megabits per second.
That'll be fun.
So the way companies work
It's gonna be amazing.
is sometimes it can be cut in half just due to latency issues.
Mhm.
So even if you got the highest fiber optic, which is 1,000, if you cut that in half, it's 500. And let's just cut it in half again for no reason at all. That's 250. That's 250 times, possibly 125 on a good day, times what we do on our internet.
Yeah. Which
Uh,
LTE, I mean, LTE is pretty fast. Like,
Yeah.
at least for loading web pages
oh
and
yeah,
stuff. It's
absolutely.
rarely do you have to
Streaming
wait.
and- no, hardly ever.
So
I mean, even streaming Netflix, it can get 720p pretty easily.
Mhm.
yeah. Oh yeah.
It's not a bad option, especially if you can't really get a good Wi-Fi outlet.
We have internet at our fingers on our phones, whether we're connected to
Yeah.
Wi-Fi or not.
We have everything at our fingers.
Every single thing. You could literally learn any subject off of YouTube or Khan Academy. You can get an education off of your phone.
Education connection.
You can learn how to do any task if you
Yeah.
sit down and you study it and use your phone for video, for tutorials, written articles on how to do a certain thing. I have done a lot of things lately because I've watched them on YouTube.
Because
Yeah.
if you think about it, even tutorials on how to beat a level of Spyro,
Yeah.
which is random game. Before YouTube, we just had to play through it.
Pretty much.
But then after YouTube and after speed runs, you can beat a level in a minute.
Yeah. Something that is going on a lot nowadays is there's a lot of complaining about the high cost of smartphones.
They're very expensive.
Yeah, my real only complaint is that they flood the market. They come out, Apple in particular, comes out with a new phone every year. It seems like.
Which is, at this point, probably too often with the
Yeah,
tiny
it's
upgrades
like
they're making.
Very minimal.
It's like a video game. See, I play NBA, and they do come out with a game every year, but that's $60.
Yeah.
Mhm. Not 800.
Yeah.
The thing about them, though, is for the capability, it's a value, nearly a value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's almost a computer.
And if you can get 5 years out of it, like
It's an investment.
the people that are buying a new iPhone, your average man that's buying a new iPhone, he's not buying a new one every year unless he's a tech junkie
Mm-hmm.
Which most people who buy Apple are.
or a wealthy man.
I think that at this point, Apple, isn't it almost, if you think of an Apple iPhone, you're thinking that person probably has means.
Yeah, I mean,
If you think about it on college campuses, or you could just get some kind of lease agreement where it spreads the, which most people do if they're on their cell phone plan, spread out the cost of the phone over a certain amount of months.
mhm.
But I don't know. It just seems like iPhone now is associated with, you have money or something.
Well, yeah, particularly the newer ones. You see a dude with a brand new one, but I mean, there's people running iPhone 5s
True.
to this day.
Which are a fantastic
Yeah, I
phone.
actually work with a guy who still has an iPhone 5.
Yeah, my old boss at Zaxby's had an iPhone 4S.
Yeah.
I kid you not.
They still work.
That was his business phone.
A lot of apps may not work, but they'll work.
Yeah, they won't
I
run
mean,
like the high.
Even if
quality
you wanted
apps.
a new iPhone, they did bring out with a cheaper, still expensive, but cheaper version, the iPhone XR, which is
isn't
like
doing very well.
no,
Sales
it's kind of like the same realm of a 5C when it came out.
Yeah, which
It's
it
very
was kind of like a
colorful.
novelty.
Yeah, it's not as in depth in terms of the actual technology and micro whatever blah 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 in the phone, but it's still a viable option if you didn't want to pay the extra $300 for a new one.
Yeah, which speaking of iPhones, what chip are they on now? Are they on the A7?
No,
Oh, I don't
It's-
know. It's past that, I think.
yeah,
Oh, seriously?
yeah, it's
Is it some different chip that?
it's pretty.
I think they still use
Powerful.
the A
Powerful.
nomenclature, but it's like the A13 or something.
Golly, I'm behind. I used to watch unboxing videos.
Yeah.
They were my ASMR videos.
I still will watch them.
Me too. I will watch an unboxing of a gadget that I'm really wanting to see.
Who's the one Unbox Therapy? Have you watched that guy?
Yeah,
I think I have.
He's super.
He unboxes some crazy things
Yeah.
though.
No, he does.
$10,000 phones and stuff like that.
He does. It's like
They,
he unboxes quite a few.
They
different
use the
objects.
Apple A12
Dang.
Bionic APL 1W81.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you now. If you have Bionic in the title of whatever you're selling, it must be great.
Oh yeah. And I do choose iPhone, and it's largely for the software.
Oh yeah,
It's
Yeah.
bulletproof.
it is.
But even if you don't choose iPhone,
Yeah, there's other options like Samsung.
yeah,
They make good phones.
Yeah, the Galaxies are really
Google.
good. It's just I prefer the Apple iOS
Mm-hmm.
or the Apple operating system
Yeah.
compared to
The software is better.
yeah.
I'm not a fanboy. Actually, I am probably an Apple fanboy, all things considered. But I'm just telling you right now, Apple makes better software.
Which I mean, Samsung has went through huge strides over the last few years to try to match
Yeah.
what Apple has
They had
done.
gingerbread software and stuff.
Android has it used to. Well, I can't really speak that well to it. To
I
be
had
frank.
a couple. I had an LG touchscreen phone. They're probably in the middle of like the iPhone 4, 4S type era, and it had a little rolly ball,
Oh yeah, I remember
like
that.
mouse type thing at the bottom, in conjunction with the touchscreen, and it might have been the worst phone I've ever used. I'm serious. I would rather have my old AudioVox flip phone than use that.
You know what's funny about
watered
that
down
LG phone?
smartphone? What?
I actually took it apart one day. I
Mhm.
took the screen completely off. A huge mistake.
What it do? What I don't know what it just,
honestly, there just wasn't a lot of components. Like if you,
battery.
because you can even just look
chip.
up an image without actually having to
Mhm.
open
Onto
up
an
an iPhone, and there's just so much more.
Yeah,
Just
There's a
in
lot
it, there's much more
crammed
in it.
into there. It's
Yeah.
actually.
It is a small computer.
Oh yeah,
It's a mini computer. I know it's obviously a computer, but
hundreds of times the computing power that was on spacecraft to the moon.
I know.
Speaking of which, spacecraft to Mars. Talk about technology.
Oh wow.
Elon Musk
Yeah,
he's an ingenuitous type of person.
yeah.
Yeah,
If
he's.
that's even a word.
You know, I don't know.
It's probably not, but I made it up.
Ingenious. What is the
So.
word?
But ingenuity is.
Oh yeah, I guess you were saying.
Going
but
back-
see, ingenuitous.
Going back to eBay, he was involved in, or not eBay, PayPal. He was involved in that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which is still huge.
Yeah, I mean, before PayPal, if you wanted to buy something online, you would put your check in an envelope.
Send it.
Even if you bought it on eBay, you'd mail it to the
Yeah.
person. They'd receive it. They would cash it. Which at this point you're looking at like 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Then once it's cleared and cashed, they would ship your item. Which
Yeah,
is
so
like
it take
another week.
forever after you bought your items.
Yeah.
Just I
a
don't even know
month
how
deal.
we lived like that with
then-
Amazon.
Yeah, I was about
All of
to-
it's
I was about
loaded
to make
onto
that
our
point.
account.
Talk about going from eBay to Amazon.
Yep.
Yeah, that Jeff Bezos, or however you pronounce his name, is a rich dude. Other than he just divorced his wife and lost half his fortune, which his wife helped him accrue. But, anyways, he's still a billionaire.
Yeah, he was the richest in the world, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Until
Is
his
that
divorce,
gone?
he cheated on his wife. Oh yeah, cut him in half. His fortune
There
in
you go.
half. Literally, he had to split it. No prenup because they got married when he was
Before
he was rich.
the boom.
Yep. Which is crazy. Another thing that I don't understand, besides the morality of the issue, because why would you ever do something like that to your partner, your spouse, you're dedicated so many years to? But in this era, you're gonna get caught no matter what.
Yeah.
With GPS technology, you might as well. I mean, unless you have two phones, but then why is your phone at the same place all day?
A burner flip phone.
Burner. Yeah, a little prepaid
Yeah.
dollar store flip phone.
Get 5 minutes.
Minutes.
Actually, I mean, now
I never really even had that issue. When I first got my phone, they were finally doing unlimited text messaging plans.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It was a per. The first phone I had, I think it was a per text charge. It might have been a quarter a text.
I don't even
or
think
something.
I ever texted on my audio box. Not until I got a Razor.
Razor.
Oh yeah, Razors were
That was the first
phone.
like hot cell phone that you wanted.
If you had a Razor, you had means at that point, because those Razors were expensive
it's very funny
for
because
as little capability at
at one point, comparing Apple and Samsung, back then it was like Razor and Motorola,
BlackBerry.
Yeah. Apple said we're gonna make a phone, and just dropped it.
Yep.
The rest is
Because
history.
it had iPod, it had camera, it had video capabilities.
The very first iPhone, they crammed a whole bunch of stuff. They changed texting.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't an instant message style feed before that.
No, it wasn't.
Now we're all just so used to seeing it in that format, but it wasn't like that before.
It wasn't
that.
at all.
It's-
And even the big wigs of the other companies do that. That's how they do their phones.
in the press conference when Steve Jobs released the first,
I've watched it multiple times.
it's funny because there's a part, and
Turtleneck Steve.
Yeah.
I'll make a point of it. At one point in the press conference, he's talking about how styluses shouldn't be a thing anymore because you can use your fingers to
Mm-hmm.
move and
Mm-hmm.
touch apps and whatnot. But then with the new iPads, they make an Apple Pencil.
Well, because it has capabilities that go far beyond a
Which-
stylus. You can literally draw a masterpiece.
I mean, but even before that, Samsung had their version of a stylus that was very intuitive. You
Mhm.
press the button and then you could hover over what option you want to do.
True.
To do.
What was the big Microsoft tablet type computer?
I mean,
What is
they
that
make
thing
Google
called?
phones now.
The Surface?
The Surface.
Surface.
That was a big
Surface.
deal. That really got them ahead in
I
that.
think they might still make it.
They might. I don't know.
I believe they
I
do.
still would go with iPad if it was me.
Yeah.
But I mean, they got a lot of the market share in the
Oh yeah.
what is tablets in the tablet market.
Well, for a while there was dozens of tablet manufacturers to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of been weeded down to
Yeah, it
the
has.
iPad.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think now people really have realized that the iPad is the tablet. I'm sorry, it is. If I'm gonna go buy a tablet, what features make me get a tablet from Samsung
Yeah.
or any of the other type of companies that make Microsoft software tablets? Why would I get that instead of an iPad?
The thing with tablets is it's not like phones
Mhm.
in actually various amount of ways. The thing with tablets, it really comes down to the microprocessors that they use, which now are computer-like, and iPad really just did it first.
And I know a lot at first the complaints with the iPad was it's basically just a glorified phone.
It's just a jumbo iPhone.
Yeah, and now it does have the iPad Pro
They've added
external
external USB connection,
yes. And that is what makes it a computer.
True multitasking,
Mm-hmm.
multiple windows.
Yeah,
side by
open on the
side.
same
Yeah.
screen, not like phone multitasking.
Yeah.
No, for sure. And for that reason, I would never buy anything other than an iPad.
I use it every day.
I know.
I was
For
actually
everything.
I was
Searching,
actually,
purchasing.
I was actually
entertainment.
thinking about buying the new iPad.
I would encourage you to.
And when iOS first came out, there was so much that was not compatible.
Mm-hmm.
Almost no website.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
They still were running on Adobe Flash Player.
Mm-hmm.
But now, it's hard to find a website that is not compatible with iOS.
Yep. Very
or
little of
any
them.
mobile. I mean, just having a mobile format. Even if they don't have a mobile, like videos embedded in web pages now, you can pretty much always watch them.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a big issue.
It was at first.
Yeah.
For a long time, it was annoying.
Yeah,
Like,
it was.
man, you pay all this money for an expensive phone, and then you can't do certain things with it. But
Yeah.
now there is nothing you can't do.
There's not much.
Really wasn't on Apple's back. It was
Mm-mm.
the website operators who had to change the program
Yeah.
to actually be able to fit a smaller screen.
And then when they realized, man, all these people have Apple phones and are running off of the iPhone operating system, let me go ahead and go with the times. And they optimized their websites, and now the rest is history.
Yeah, and then now anyone could make an application or app if you wanted,
Mm-hmm.
and you could put it up
Yeah.
on
I
the
just,
Apple Store.
I mean, as we're sitting here and talking, you know, we take for granted that I literally can sit on this podcast that we're recording, open my phone, and search anything I want
As it Face IDs you.
Face
as
ID.
it unlocks
I
with
was
my
about
face.
to make that point.
And even before that, the thumbprint technology.
And then before that, it was just a code.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just a rudimentary code.
Something as simple as security, how that has evolved on one device.
Mm-hmm. And you know, as I just got reminded as I was looking at my phone. If you're watching YouTube, I played this computer game back when we still had dial-up for a little while, but this might have been to the point where we had gotten to a little bit more high-speed internet. And I would play this computer game called RuneScape.
Yeah.
Very, very popular for a while. I don't know if it quite reached the heights that World of Warcraft did.
MMO RPGs are led by World of Warcraft and League of Legends.
Mm-hmm. They're the top. But RuneScape was very popular there for a while. I played it religiously, multiple nights, staying up, fishing sharks,
Yeah.
attacking mini animals to try to up my combat skills. Would farm,
Yeah.
herb lore. Just I was role playing as if I was a knight or a wizard
It's so
or an archer.
it is easy to. It's like a real world.
Mm-hmm.
It's like living in a simulation. You can just kind of go in there and live there.
Mm-hmm. And that was how I spent my time. It was fun.
Yeah.
And a few months ago, they released RuneScape for mobile, and I was literally on my phone, can do everything that I used to have to do on a full-fledged PC.
Yeah.
And I could do it on my phone. And that really took me back for a second, like, wow.
Yeah.
Not only do I grab my phone to make a call or to send a text, check my email, FaceTime, I can go through all my social media, which we haven't even gotten into the social media aspect of technology yet. This era is
We haven't even went
riddled
through
with it.
FaceTime.
No, we haven't. Read a book, listen to music, listen to a podcast, play a game, check up on my wife's pregnancy, because I have an app for that.
Think of all these
There's an app for
things.
that.
All these things we're listing. It's a value.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it, folks. $1,000 might be a value.
I really believe it. We're just so spoiled to the fact that we should get.
And we got used to not having to pay that much,
Mm-hmm.
they went up. They skyrocketed in price.
Yeah, they did. Because it just, I mean,
Supply and
upper
demand.
technology, yeah. And people buy it.
Yeah.
And I'm just telling you, I hate to break it to you, but that plasma that I have of my house that is so outdated that everything that I watched looks terrible on, my parents paid almost $1,000 for.
Well, TVs have done the opposite.
Mm-hmm. They drop down.
Yeah, they
go
are
down in
cheaper.
price.
You
I
can
know.
get a great TV for a few $100s.
Mhm.
Yeah, I seen it was like 48-inch from Walmart.
Yeah.
For like 150 because it was on sale. It was like $159.
And it has beautiful quality, and I would love to have one right now.
Yeah.
Instead of
the
the one I
48-inch
have.
for $159 is
As
the
opposed-
same size that you have.
I have
at
a
your house.
42-inch.
If you can
Oh,
live,
it's a little larger
I
and it's
know.
still way cheaper.
especially if you can live without having a smart TV, which
Mhm.
get a
Okay.
Roku.
Yeah, for sure. Roku
Yeah.
makes you can stream anything you want. YouTube, Hulu, Amazon Prime,
Yeah.
television, Netflix. Right
There
with
you
your
go.
TV on Roku. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I don't need it to be a smart TV.
That's another thing. If you're born today, you're not really going to know what it was like to not have cable, let alone to not have streaming services.
Oh man, I don't even know what I would do without streaming services. I watch more Netflix than I do TV.
I think most people do at this
I
point.
honestly,
Or YouTube or Netflix.
Well, Dolan, you're a gamer. You really don't consume much TV. I mean, sports is the main thing you watch on
I
TV.
watch
Besides
sports
your few television
and
shows,
3 television shows.
superhero shows,
One of them's
Supergirl,
not
Flash. What's the other one?
The Challenge.
The Challenge on MTV, which is one of the guilty pleasures of my life. I love watching those old. Now they're old. Go
Yeah.
after each other, doing
Well-
challenges, physical attributes, using them for their advantage to win money.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. It's wild.
Wild and out, baby.
Wild and out. Oh, which speaking
Another
of,
MTV.
you know, I know that we could do an entire episode about all the awful TV shows we used to watch at night, but since we're talking about technology, do you remember Parental Control and those old dating shows on MTV?
We just kind of sit there and watch a marathon of those shows.
I know. Parental Control.
My bad.
The bus one. What was the bus one? Next.
Next.
Yeah.
You got 3 dates, and you had the person, the guy or girl, would choose the other one that they would want to date or whatever.
You had MTV Cribs and
Oh yeah.
Pimp My Ride.
Oh, Pimp My Ride was. You always.
It was the
Always.
premier car show.
Oh yeah. You hated the cars they made because they were just blasphemous. But you still wanted to get your car pimped because you knew you were getting.
They did some wild stuff.
Oh yeah. It was TVs in the back and on the sides and.
Yeah.
Place. I remember one guy got an entire gaming setup in the trunk of his car. That when he
Yeah.
opened his trunk, the TV was on the actual trunk, and then the consoles was in the side. And you could get chairs. It was wild,
Yeah.
wild and out. Nick Cannon, all the funny, almost horrible raps.
They're terrible.
There was what
But
was the
there's
Yo
a-
Mama? There was an actual
Yeah,
show.
there was. Yeah.
It's just Yo Mama jokes.
Yo Mama
Yeah.
jokes. Wow.
Wow. Some cray stuff back in.
They did. But back to technology.
Well, the kids, if you're born today, you're not even going to remember learning how to use an iPad, most
No.
likely. Because it's just, you were
It's-
too young.
It's an ability. My daughter,
At this
I'm kidding
point,
you
it's
not.
second nature.
Yeah,
It's-
my daughter, not even 10 months old yet,
It's weird.
knows how to swipe my phone.
And it makes sense because it is highly intuitive.
Mm-hmm. It is. It doesn't.
I think you can almost parallel it to us. Like, I don't remember learning how to use a PC, a mouse. That's just because
Mm-mm.
you learned it at such a young age.
I just remember using it.
Yeah.
My sensory, touch, sight. I was just, boom.
I mean, as long as I can remember, I was playing on Paint or playing
Mhm.
Pinball or Spider
Oh.
Solitaire.
Pinball. The ultimate game.
They used to have built-in Windows games that were pretty good.
I know. They were great.
No, they
Yeah.
don't.
Now they don't. No games came on my MacBook.
No, yeah.
You know why? Because I can download as many
Yeah,
as I
the
could
App
ever
Store.
want to play on the App Store.
Yeah.
Same with my phone. I've got a PlayStation 4.
Yep.
And I rarely use it for video games now. I use it for streaming and as watching Blu-ray and things of that nature. Because my phone, I have a few quick go-to games that I play,
Mhm.
and that's my video game.
Well, video games is a good example.
Mm-hmm.
We got to witness the release of the Xbox,
Oh yeah,
and
that
then
was huge.
the PS2, which
Mhm.
was maybe the greatest console of all time.
I would argue that it is. The PlayStation 2 had everything you could ever want. Had some of the best games.
It was a big deal.
It was a huge deal. And the graphics.
I think the Xbox predated it,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah, it came out first.
I remember Halo.
Oh man,
We actually played Halo on New Year's Eve of 2000.
what was that? Cousin Caden?
Cousin Caden.
Yeah, that was his Xbox.
We were all completely
Just
blown away.
Blown away by the shooter graphics.
Now you look at original Halo and it's funny.
I know,
look
it's
at.
actually
Yeah.
humor. It's humor watching that. Because the graphics are just nothing that we're accustomed to. And what's funny is I don't remember that well the bad graphics.
No, because
you remember it as being pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because when you look at Atari and 8-bit Mario on the Nintendo, and then you go to 2000 where it's very blurred and still very pixelated,
Mm-hmm.
but it still looks way better. And then, of course, now everybody knows what they look like now.
Oh yeah, like movies,
Yeah.
like full-fledged productions.
If you get a game, so okay, talk about video games. This is my area. Most games, they come out with a very long line. Call of Duty, Battlefield. Those
Mhm.
are
The
franchises.
series. Yeah, franchises.
Well, if you get a game such as Resident Evil, it is a franchise, but they don't make them every year. They make them every 3 years, maybe.
Mhm. Because
So-
they're a story.
Yeah, and they put so much effort into the graphics that Resident Evil 8, whenever it may come out, is gonna look pretty good.
Mhm.
You get a similar thing with, is it Rockstar?
Yeah.
Grand
make
Theft Auto.
Grand Theft
game?
Grand Theft
yeah.
Auto every year just gets a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the storyline, as you're playing, it's almost like you're controlling the player's destiny
Well, like the distance
with your
between
hands.
between Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead
Yeah.
Redemption 2, it's like 8 years or something.
I know.
And
It's
I'm
still,
assuming the graphics are pretty
it's
solid.
Fantastic.
yeah.
on
Which
Red
I
Dead
mean, Red
Redemption
Dead
2.
Red Dead Redemption, the original, is for like a 2008 game or 2009.
Yeah,
It was probably the best at the time because
the graphics.
have
are
you
pretty
seen
good.
the graphics recently on the original Red Dead Redemption?
I have. Yeah, I actually have that. It's one of
It's-
the few games I have.
It's
Yeah.
still very, very clear.
It's good.
Mm-hmm. And, I'd like to... There is a dog barking in the background. I apologize for that if any of you hear it, but I can't stop it, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep going. I'd like to turn it to a more depressing side of the tech era, and that is social media. Because
I don't use it.
Dolan is one of the few persons in this day and age that I can honestly say doesn't use social media. But what about it is fun? Honestly. We're not connecting with anybody anymore. It ain't like we keep it for family. Do we talk to any of our family on
It's
there?
not like 2014 Facebook.
A lot of it
it's
has
not.
gone downhill.
It has. Everybody goes on there, spews your opinions,
Yeah.
like I'm doing right now, because somebody who listens to this might not agree with me. I know. And you can use it for spreading love and positivity and joy and things like that, but
Well,
the
like
vast majority of users don't use it for that functionality.
They use it
especially
for a debating
Facebook. I think
system.
Facebook's the biggest
Culprit.
offender.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Snapchat, I feel like you're just snapping your friends, and you're not really.
Mm.
I mean, you can put stuff on your story, but people don't usually.
Just
I skim
watch
through
it. Yeah, skim to the next, and don't really see.
That's the only social media I actually use. I will say that, and
Mhm.
I go on it once a week, maybe.
But think about this. You're sitting in your living room, surrounded by whoever, family, friends, pets, I don't know. And you enter into a world that you zone out, and all your attention goes to the screen.
Oh, it's an addiction.
And you
There's
don't
no
see
doubt
what
about it.
I'm the biggest offender at
You
this
are.
table. And I can say that because I have worked at to get better. Deleted the apps and try to only do it in certain times to
Yeah.
go online to do it, as if all I had was a dial-up connection, and I can only do it for a few minutes a day.
I'm an offender too. I mean, if somebody made me switch to the old brick
It'd be weird.
Nokia,
There'd be a detox
I could
phase.
still call people,
Mm-hmm.
which is the bare essential. It's all you need to do.
Yeah,
I
But it
actually
would
prefer
hurt.
calling.
it would hurt. Huh?
I prefer calling you, and you both know
You're
I
an
don't
old
text.
soul. You're an old soul.
I pretty much am.
Yeah.
You're a dying breed. I'm just gonna let you know that. There are not many like you. I've totally engulfed myself. But I sit there, and what I do is I go down a rabbit hole. I get on Twitter just to see, like,
Oh,
I
it's
might
a
be
vicious.
Oh, it's awful. I get on Twitter to see what certain beat writers and sports analysts might be writing about a game I'm watching.
Well, that's my news source.
It is. I use it for
No,
news.
but Landon, while watching the game, mind you, he does it.
Yeah.
Because I want to see what other people's opinions are, and opinions are rampant. Twitter is probably the worst. Facebook,
Twitter.
Facebook's worse.
Just
'Cause
depends on
Twitter-
who you follow, I guess.
For sure, because Twitter, you're only allowed a certain amount of
Yeah.
characters. So, I mean, unless you're using 250 now?
I think.
It used to be 100.
Something like that.
Yeah, and now you have a little bit more room to type, but just bullying and mass spread of misinformation, and I mean, even our own head of the free world state, our leader, uses Twitter daily.
Yeah.
And besides the politics of it, because I'm not even going to get into that, I don't need to come on here and spread political opinions, but is that constructive? I mean, for the rest of our lives, our kids' lives, maybe even our kids' kids' lives, they're going to have to deal with it. And
I
it's
mean,
not-
I don't.
And I'm just telling, well, no, you won't, but I'm just telling you right now, it wasn't our
Well, I mean-
generation that created these.
What, the applicant?
Yeah, and they tell, and I'm just going to go ahead and go on a little bit of a soapbox here, but yeah, I may spend too much time on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or whatever, but I'm never the one that gets on there and argues. It's usually old people. Sorry.
Are you done?
No, I could go ham on that, but I'm not going to.
Please don't.
Why?
I don't like it.
You want a little bit of a debate here?
No.
Okay, good, because I'd win.
Obviously,
Don't even start. He's in one of those moods, people.
there's good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody doesn't like the bad, they can just delete Twitter.
Mm-hmm. They could, but they won't.
No, they're addicted.
It's an addiction.
You get on Twitter, scroll for a while, then you go to Facebook, scroll, then you go to Insta.
And then by the time you already search Facebook and Instagram, you're ready to go back and see the new ones on Twitter.
Pretty much.
Then back to Facebook, back to Instagram, and you do it and you don't even realize it. Dylan, I'm so happy that you don't go down that rabbit hole, because it's bad.
I mean, I don't need others' opinions to try to prove mine's
I don't
right.
read any other opinions.
Yeah, I don't read opinions,
I don't read that, and when I do see that, I delete that person off my social media.
I'd just rather not see it. That's why I don't go on it.
True. Bork.
Well, I do like Insta because
I do. It's photos. It's more of an
mostly just
entertainment.
pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Most
You
of
don't
the
get a lot of
time-
infighting, funny memes.
Most of the time, I'm on the Explore page, which it tailors to things that are good for you.
I know it's the algorithm literally focuses on things that you enjoy and content you want to see. So I get a lot of 21 Pilots.
Yeah, I mean,
Art
it's a pretty
and-
smart algorithm.
It is. It makes me want to spend more time on that app.
It does.
And then obviously that's good for business because advertisers then get sold that information and then get put an ad to something that I
Which,
completely didn't ever search. I'll just mention something.
well, one time we were together.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about Boudreaux's butt paste.
Yeah, actually, I think Charlie was in the hospital.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, and I was saying they gave us free Boudreaux's butt paste.
That was it.
That was
I've
all.
never heard of Boudreaux's butt paste in my life.
Never looked it up.
Later that night, I'm on the Facebook app, and there's a Boudreaux's butt paste promoted post. There's no doubt about it. It stores keywords
Mm-hmm.
and keeps them in like a cache.
Yep.
And if it finds matches,
It then
it can
matches
then,
you to that
it can
advertiser.
then give that advertiser to you.
Mhm. Yep. And
Which-
that brings. Sorry, go ahead.
Which you can clear your cache
Yeah,
on
you
your
can.
phone if
You can clear all that
But
out.
nobody
but
thinks
nobody
that-
thinks to do that in
No,
a
no.
matter of an hour. You
Yeah.
get home and you see an ad for Boudreaux's butt paste. You don't have kids.
the thing with Facebook.
Why are you gonna buy Boudreaux's butt paste?
I'd never
You're
even heard
not.
of it.
You gonna buy it for
Now I'm seeing
yourself?
an ad.
No. The thing with Facebook is it's just a data application website.
Yep.
Whatever you go and do on Facebook, it just stores it and waits for a time. The next time you come back on, little tiny dog, the next time you come back on to show the advertisement.
hmm And I'm just telling you right now, Facebook sells all of our info to advertisers and
Well, there was a
companies.
big what was the big controversy recently about that?
Yeah,
Is
that
that
all
what it
our
was?
info. Yeah, then they do it, and then they've admitted to it, and they've got caught.
There you go.
So technology, it's a hard era.
Snowden.
It really is. Yeah, whistleblowing.
Yeah, it's definitely there's so much good that has come, but
There
There
is
has
negative
been bad.
aspects.
Star Wars.
I mean it used to be in the little bit I can remember from the late '90s. It was a simpler time.
Yeah,
It was. There wasn't as much accessibility for other
Or even early 2000s.
information. Yeah, really.
Now it's a crazy world we're living in.
Yeah,
Like how much I devote. Like, do I lessen my screen time so that my daughter doesn't think she's entitled to screen time? When is the right time to let her have social
know.
media? Do you ever let her have social media? Do you go to school?
that's a lot of
There's-
tough decisions.
I know because
I
now
mean-
with online capabilities, my brother and sister did it. They graduated from an online
Yeah,
grade school,
yeah.
and they learned every bit that somebody else is going to learn.
Honestly,
maybe even more.
I can, without a doubt, say I probably learned more in my 2.5 years of
online school.
online school than
Than
I
in
did
public
at
education.
at the brick and mortar that we had.
Yeah, and also we live in Oklahoma. It's the worst in the entire country.
It is, but the thing with online is it goes off of a different academic system.
Mhm.
It doesn't necessarily go off of the state you're in.
Yeah, and the only reason that you did any of the standardized testing is because Oklahoma forces
That
you
is forced.
to.
Yes.
But why? And that takes you into a whole nother subject matter. Do we need to learn how to test take, or do we need to learn how to file our taxes,
We
Or
need
balance a
to
checkbook.
learn
or not run up credit cards?
financial. We need to
Literacy.
learn financial literacy.
Absolutely. I had maybe one semester in my entire high school career where they forced us to take one because the state mandated it,
The thing with
and it was not good. I had it with a guy who didn't teach it.
I took personal finance in high school.
That was
And
what ours was called.
That was an elective.
Yeah, it was an elective.
It's not forced.
Mm-mm. So the teacher treated it as an elective. It wasn't actual education on the subject matter.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe yours was different, but
No, it was-
the
we- it-
school I
our
attended. Sorry,
class
I don't want to
was-
slander it.
Our class was the Dave Ramsey, whatever it's called, Financial Peace University.
Oh, really?
Over the course of the semester, we watched the video series. That's what the class was.
Just
I learned a lot. I mean,
yeah,
I
no,
did,
Dave
but,
Ramsey's good. He obviously knows something. He's rich.
but you graduate high school and you don't know jack
Mm-mm.
about.
You know how to test take.
Yeah, I mean, you know how to
In
pass
theory.
a biology test.
Mhm.
I mean, the thing is, for some reason, our state wants to believe that schools are meant to learn a very minute amount of information. They essentially think we're only going to school to just get the information for the test, to show that we're using that time, that 7 whatever hours of time, for the testing.
Mm-hmm.
They
To
don't
learn
think
whatever
that
subject
we need,
matter is
Yeah, they
on
don't
it.
think that we need to learn the more
Actual
pressing
life
and more
skills.
important issues.
Because I'm just telling you right now, when I graduated high school, I got into college. I got my first credit card offer in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
I applied for it because, they love college students. Little to no income.
That's their favorite target.
Oh, yeah. You run up a credit card.
Studies show that once they get somebody, they're likely to be a lifer.
Yep. I'm just telling you right now, I ran up that credit card. Didn't have very much income. Got a job. Had more income. Then got another one. And then when I realized, crap, it's going to take a while to pay these off. I don't really have that much money to pay them off. I'm going to get another one just to have for emergency. And then you end up needing to use that one, and it's a trap. It's an
Yeah,
Admiral
it is.
Akbar.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
I'm just going to refer to a trap as an Admiral Akbar from now on.
It's a classic Admiral Akbar.
It is a trap, and I didn't know anything. Obviously, when I took that personal finance literacy course, I learned obviously about interest and how it compounds, and each purchase you buy. Yeah, you may be only buying a $15 item, but eventually you're going to pay interest, whether it be a high interest rate like 29% or some abysmal rate that credit cards are offered to you when you have little to no credit. I didn't know any of that. I had to learn through the School of Hard Knocks just by doing it.
Yeah.
And I learned it the hard way. But if somebody would have just taught those things rather than teaching me that Christopher Columbus landed
the
in
ocean blue in 1492.
Which I love to know those things because it's cool to know facts like that, and you want to know your own history so you don't repeat it.
Yeah.
But just wild. There's so many things in the tech era, and that's why I believe that I've learned more by using technology than I did in school.
The things you can learn now on YouTube, it's pretty amazing.
I can learn to write code,
You can learn almost anything.
and that to me is a real testament to the good side of technology and living in this era.
Yeah.
You can get an education any way you want. You don't have to go to a library anymore. Well, actually, you do go to the library, get on the computer, and you can literally study for 8 hours a day.
If you don't have a personal computer, you could go to your local librarian.
Mm-hmm. And if the public education system did fail you, or you didn't learn as much as you'd like to, you literally can go and learn anything you want to do. You can learn a trade.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild. And create content and produce media and do things like that. It's opened up a whole new world, Aladdin style.
Yeah. Any predictions on? Is there something? What's the next great breakthrough? I mean, let's see. The greatest breakthrough of 2000 through 2010. I would say it's the smartphone.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Maybe that's
Smartphone technology is the number
and
one.
maybe great ain't the right. Maybe greatest ain't the right word, but the most impactful.
Mm-hmm. Because not everything about smartphone has been great.
Now 2010 through 2020 is almost over.
Mm-hmm.
So we can pretty much claim something from there, but
Yeah.
I don't know what that would be.
Are you asking what our prediction for 2020
2020
to
through
2030?
2030, yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and say, for me personally, I think we're going to see a very large, more than what we've already seen in the past few years, breakthrough in motorized vehicles.
Think so?
Yeah,
I do.
I do think so.
Now that they're introducing technology within, because I read something, just a headliner, that the new Tesla had a perfect crash rating.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Tesla. Yeah, and
Another
it's,
Elon Musk.
Yeah. How in the world are we still using fossil fuels as our fuel?
That's
I mean,
because the businesses buy
Yeah,
out.
they've bottomed out. I mean, the big companies that own it, they've, with the help of the big oil companies, have bought the rights to vehicles that run on biodegradable solutions or whatever. French fry oil. Something
Yeah,
you
I
read
mean-
that story 10 years ago about a guy who could fuel his car with old vegetable oil.
Mhm.
And then nothing.
Yeah. Something that I would
He
also...
said the only bad thing was that his car smelled like egg rolls. But go ahead, Nolan.
Something that I would love to see in my lifetime, which may, at this point, just seems like an impossible task, but a perpetual motion machine,
Yeah.
which people have come very close, but the matter is friction.
Mm-hmm.
If no one knows what I'm talking about, it's a very good subject.
Yeah.
Don't eat your
How
mic.
efficient can you make an engine?
Mhm.
Exactly.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
You can't make it 100%, but can you make it 99.99?
Yeah, I really think they can. I really do. And, honestly, I think I'm going to agree with Dolan. I think they will make strides in transportation in the next few years because we got to do something to our environment. We've ruined it. Trash everywhere. Just
Which,
absolute garbage air in California and all
the
these
only
other places.
politics-
It's just sick.
the only politics I listen to is what other people say. And you
Mhm.
brought up a point that the President of the United States passed a bill to reduce plastic in the ocean or something
Mhm.
like that. I don't...
Yeah, it's called the
Remember.
Save Our Seas Act, and it
Yeah.
actually is dedicated to removing millions and millions of waste
Which is something that
in our
needed
seas
to be
and
done
oceans.
10 years ago, to
Yep.
be honest.
I mean, you got to protect the world you're living on before you can enjoy the things that it's brought you. Technology is something that it's brought us.
Yeah.
I mean, we are on this earth, and we've created the human race. Is an absolute wondrous animal species. Power of free will, thought, just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to get all deep to end this podcast.
I mean,
I usually do
what
that.
we are.
So, I mean, use basically what it all boils down to and what I'm trying to say in this podcast, and hopefully we're all trying to say is just go out and live your best life.
Yeah.
Do something, as Dolan once said, I think it might have been the first or second podcast, do something today
That
that helps better tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just go out, be positive, love, be happy, enjoy the life you've been given.
Well, I'm trying.
And you know, there's
Living my best life.
a saying called "pay it forward,"
Mm-hmm.
which doesn't always necessarily mean the monetization of a dollar.
Mm-hmm.
It just means spread positivity.
Yep.
Go be nice to someone so that way you can brighten their day who could brighten another's,
Yeah.
and brighten another's after that.
No, that's a good way to be.
Mm-hmm. Just live with empathy,
Yeah.
positivity, and joy. Put that on a shirt. Well, boys, is there anything else you have left to say?
I don't reckon anything in my brain has to come out.
Go iPhone.
I mean, we could talk all night, but
I really could. I got on a huge rant towards the end of the episode. I could keep going, but I'm not going to.
I think tech era, I mean, we covered our bases for the most part, so
Yeah, we're just scratching the
We
surface.
literally just scratched and sniffed.
yeah.
There's so much more deep things, but as you listen and as you go about the next week, just live your best life.
Is that the end?
I think that's the end. And go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and say one more thing. Thank you for listening. Thank you for clicking on this, whether you're a family member, whether you're a random podcast searcher. We appreciate it. Have a great week.
Adios.